Hello Virgo friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Virgo September 2022 Astrology Top 5 Things to Know Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com, a link you can find underneath the podcast or video, to see all the free goodies I make for you each month so you don't miss anything to help you make the most of the starry possibilities. This is for you if Virgo is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or anything else that you watch as a Virgo placement. What I'm going to talk about here will be part of your astrological picture. If you are a late degree Virgo or have any late degree Virgo placement, so we'll say September 15th through the rest of the sign, or like 23 degrees to the rest of the sign, then I additionally suggest you listen to my Libra report. Excuse me. Because the Virgo report and the Libra report will hold pieces for you late degree friends. So we are going to get right into the top 5 things to know. This is a very exciting month. Hopefully you will listen through to the end because you don't want to miss anything, and all of the points I talk about are going to be very important for you to know to make the most of this month. There's a lot going on as usual, and we're going to take it piece by piece. So the first big top thing to know is that we have 6 trines this month. From September 11th through September 28th, there are 6 trines. Trine is the most favorable aspect in all of astrology. And this is really wonderful because the rest of the astrological profile is basically 50-50. We've got about a neutral month with half the aspects being sweet and half the aspects being salty. And so, these trines, as powerful as they are, can really kick that over into being super positive. If you want a complete list of all of the aspects of the month, the sweet and salty ones, what you can expect from them delivered into your inbox 1 month early, go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter, and you will get that right up a month early. Okay, so the trines are, 5 of them are in Earth, and this is of special significance for Earth signs because obviously you are an Earth sign and 5 trines are an Earth sign, so that means that the 5 trines, when they connect together, are going to form, with your Virgo placement, a grand trine, which is the most favorable starry sacred geometrical connection possible. So this is very powerful for everyone, but especially for Earth signs. So let's break this down here. We're going to have Mercury, the Sun and Venus connect with Pluto. We're going to have the Sun and Venus connect with the planet Uranus. So the combination of those energies can look like the following. First of all, they're an Earth sign, so this means mega tangible manifestation, emotional, financial security, stability, things that are happening with trying to create something in a very visible, tangible, mundane form, practical outcomes, things that you really need, not just things that you want. This can also lay the foundation for growth in the future, lay a fabulous structure at the bottom that you can continue to add to. So the areas of your chart that are being especially highlighted have to do with your creative expression, your communication, love, romance, money, your finances, self-esteem, transformation, alchemy. This also can have to do with surprises and brilliant new ingenious ideas to solve problems or to create solutions. So all of that's happening. Now, specifically for Virgo, your image, your physical body is being accentuated. So finding solutions to health problems, healing some of your personal image issues, having more clarity as to what it is that you would like to do with your life or how you'd like to present yourself, either image-wise or from a vocational standpoint. Anything having to do with your children, creativity, your leadership, your fun, your talents, anything that puts you out in front of other people. All of those are being beautifully aspected at this time. Also, teaching, learning. If you need education to further what you want to do in this world, this could be the time where you find a perfect program. Immigration, long distance travel, anything having to do with publishing, writing, speaking, spiritual studies. Those are the areas that are going to be beautifully aspected by these trines. Everyone will get the goodies, but for the Sun, Venus, Uranus connection, anyone closer to 18 degrees, so we'll say 13 degrees through 23 degrees, and the closer to 18 degrees, the more you get a kiss. So we'll say that's around September 3rd or 4th through September 13th or 14th, and the closer to September 8th or 9th, the more you get the kiss from those aspects. And then the 3, the Sun, Venus, and Mercury connection with Pluto, everyone gets the kiss, everyone gets the possibilities, but there's more of a chance for it to show up in a very notable way for the late degree friends. So if you're like 21 degrees to the rest of the sign, the closer to 26 degrees, the more you get all 3 of those kisses from those Pluto connections. So that's going to be like September 11th or 12th through the rest of the sign, and the closer to like the 16th, 17th or so, the more you get the kiss from that series of aspects. And we do have another air connection, Mars and Gemini and Saturn, trining Saturn at the very end of the month. That can also bring amazing fortune and luck in your work, career sectors, or things having to do with your health. This is another layer coming up, or pets or animals or your daily routine or organization. So all of those things can stand to get extra blessings, and everything is being highlighted there. So all of that is my top number 1 thing to know. The next thing to know is that we are entering eclipse season. So you will notice those big changes, those, feeling like your finger's stuck in an electric socket for a few months at a time, the foreboding, the excited anticipation, all of those things are starting to brew. Now, fortunately, the Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle is in a friendly angle to Virgo placements. I don't know what's going on in the rest of your chart. Of course, I can only see your Virgo placements from this horoscope perspective. But from that perspective, they are quite favorable. And so October and November are the eclipses, sudden changes, in trajectory, big hellos, big goodbyes, brilliant new beginnings, clearing out of karma. That's another big thing that we tend to see at eclipse time. So even though the eclipses are in October, November, I'm mentioning this very strongly for September because 4 to 6 weeks before the first eclipse, we often see the news, that kind of heating up of the pot of water, and bubbling, that all that bubbling will start to cause manifestation. And that gets very strong all through September. So you're very likely going to see eclipse-related things, chances to clear karma, chances to step onto your highest expression in this lifetime coming in this month. Okay, so that's number 2. The next thing is that, let's see where I want to go first. All right, so let's talk about the retrogrades, because as I've been promising, we are starting in September a long flow of the tides coming in. Okay, so June, July, August, we had a brilliant open period. If you're watching this early, we're still in that period of direct time where the tides are going out, where if you're on the shore and you throw your message in a bottle, or your ship your boat that you built that's trying to get off the island, the tides will take them out far and wide, naturally in June, July, and most of August. But as we get to the end of August, into September, and pretty much straight through until March of 2023, we are having multiple Mercury retrogrades and a Mars retrograde that has its full cycle over that time. When we're in the retrograde time, the energies are going inward and backward, not outward and forward. So it's a wonderful time for a lot of things, and I'll mention a few things that you can hold in your mind as really good to align with in September and beyond. But it's not the best for trying to make maximum impact with things going far and wide for long periods of time, because if you throw your message in a bottle out, the tides will take it right back to you. So anything that you throw out there during the time of the tides coming in September, having this double energy, because Mercury will go retrograde September 10th through October 1st. The pre-transit shadow period starts August 21st, and the post-shadow transit stretches to the middle of October. So essentially from the end of October through the middle, or the end of August to the middle of October, we've got Mercury retrograde. Then Mars will go retrograde October 30th through January 12th, but the pre-shadow period is very long, because the further the planets are out, the longer their retrograde is, and the longer their shadow periods before and after are. So around September 3rd, we start the Mars retrograde shadow period, and that gets stronger and stronger and stronger every day through September. Not as strong as it will get, of course, as it goes into actual retrograde, but it's still strengthening. And Mars rules oomph, it rules get up and go, it rules ambition, and many people will find their ambition is waning at this time. There will be that rogue person who will just get super amped, and Mars retrograde is their most productive, ambitious time. That does happen, and sometimes it does happen that way for people, especially who have Mars retrograde at birth. And also there could be other reasons why someone might experience it that way. But for the most part, that ambition or that work has to be kept closer to you. So like, let's say you're going to write a book and launch it in the spring. The writing of the book and the fever for writing the book can be very strong during this time. It's just the trying to get it out is the thing that you're not trying to work on. But the actual creation process, it's beautiful for that. But some people might get lazy. So if you find that you've got a very big project that's in the latter part of the year, try to get as much of it done in September as possible, because the closer you get to the Mars retrograde, the more you might get lazy. And we know that Virgo people are one of the least lazy people of the whole zodiac. Hardworking, disciplined, consistent. But even Virgos are not immune to the whims of the planets and their retrograde cycles. So it's very possible that you even might start to get a little more lazy, have a little bit less vitality. And so just kind of know that as we get deeper into September and into October, that might happen, so that you can align doing your big work projects with September or before. But you will have powers of perception, because of course we know that the sun is going to be in Virgo. This is your time. We've got birthdays. Venus is going to get into Virgo. Mercury is going to retrograde back into Virgo, which we'll talk about all that during one of the other points after we're finished with the retrograde point. So there's a lot of powers of perception and productivity at this time, but just know about this thing about the retrogrades, okay? So some things, so it's not always the best to try to push everything out far and wide. It's not always best for clarity or long-term planning. September is not going to be super easy to plan. You'll notice that plans you've made will shift. You're going to erase a lot of things in your calendar if you still have a written calendar, so don't write anything in pen in this month. And the less you schedule yourself, the better, because the retrogrades lend themselves to last-minute magic. Okay, so if you have to schedule things, life is life, fine. But if there are things you don't really need to schedule, then it would be better to leave it open. Not only because you're going to save yourself from having to reschedule, but also because you'll leave yourself open if a last-minute plan comes in and says, hey, you want to do this? You can say, oh, I happen to be free at that time because Annie told me to not schedule, right? So then you can say yes. Okay, so some things that I love retrogrades for, and these are going to be energies that are true for September and beyond. It's an amazing time for learning and education. If you're in a school program, or if you started studying something, if you bought a program, you might find that you're really hot on researching and studying, and it's beautiful, beautiful for this. Working in the backdrop, edits, revising, fixing content that you've already made, making it, polishing it up. Anything that is like deep indulgence in hobbies and fun. Staycations are amazing. Getting stuff done at your house, where you're like fixing the roof and trimming the hedges and, cleaning the carpets, and just things that really have needed to be done right in front of you. That's really basically one of the things, big must-knows about the retrogrades, is that you're really going to be called to deal with the things immediately in front of you, and not the things as much over there or over there or over there in the future or distance-wise. You're just kind of like the spider waiting for the food to come to you, sitting on the shore, waiting to see what the tides roll in to you. Those trines can roll in some pretty amazing things. So the combination of the retrograde and the trines could mean you're sitting there on the beach and the trines are bringing all of these beautiful things to you and landing them right in your lap. Reaping the rewards of past work. There's a super theme about that at this time because of the Saturn Shrine with Mars. Saturn is the task master that wants us to be disciplined, and it is the ruler of a fellow Earth sign. So there are some similar, storylines there for you. And all of the Earth trines are really telling the story, like things you've worked hard for, they can start to roll in for you right now. It's just a matter of not trying to force something to happen or make something happen or push something out. It's kind of like a waiting game. It's like you've done the work now you just deal with what comes to you. And you take care of unfinished business, things that are squeaking for attention in front of you, whether they're people or relationships or your body or a pet or whatever is squeaking for attention right around you. It's the time to get super focused right on those things right by you. You can also experiment with low stakes projects, or it could be a project that could have a very big outcome. It's just your investment in it. We want that to be low. Like, we don't want you to invest a bunch of money in September expecting a certain outcome, unless you're otherwise intuitively inclined, because there could always be exceptions. But for the most part, this is a time when you can experiment with something, like throw a marketing promo out there. And if nobody buys it, it doesn't really matter, because you just took the time to write the email. You know what I mean? It's like something that you're investing a small amount of time that could have a big result, but if it doesn't, it's no skin off of your back, because that's the kind of thing that works well now. And continuing things that are already launched, exploring, researching for future things. Like, let's say you know that you want to travel in 2023. Well, June through the third week in August is actually a good time to plan some of that travel. And if you are planning some of that travel, definitely join my exclusive content portal. Okay, it's just a nominal subscription amount. You know, most of my work is free, but this is something that people have been asking me for. But in that portal, I'm giving you all kinds of sneak peeks. So I already have posted in there a 2023 astrological tides and open windows of 2023 module. So if you're interested in that and you're trying to plan in the time before September, because I do post these before September, for next year, or just kind of have some time frames in mind if we are in September, you'll want to check that out. And you can go to anniebastrology.com or look in the links below the notes of the video or podcast. But in any case, this is a really good time to do the research. So like, let's say you want to go somewhere next year. Well, maybe making all the plans in September might not be the best idea. But researching the kinds of things you want to do, the kinds of places you want to go, the kinds of costs that it will be. The month of September is fantastic for research and things that you do where you're gathering information but not necessarily doing much with it, unless you're weaving it together in the form of writing or something like that. And there will be a lot of great energy for writing and expressing and communicating. If you find you're getting extra frustrated at this time, then that's you probably trying to force something that isn't supposed to happen. So let that be your guide to kind of take your foot off the gas. Okay, so we talked about eclipse season. It was one point. We talked about the retrogrades. That's the other points. We talked about the trines. That's the other points. Let's talk about the planets and what they're doing. Okay, so the personal planets, as we alluded to before, are moving through Virgo. So happy birthday to most of the Virgos. Birthday is a very special time when the universe is especially receptive to your wishes. The sun in the sky represents the things that we want. And when it gets back to the same point that it's at in your chart, it's called the solar return. It opens a portal for wishing. That's where birthday wishes come from. They're astrological. So you say your birthday wishes out loud, you write them down, and you feel them as if they've already come true. This helps to impress upon your subconscious mind to be magnetic to those things. You can search for Annie Botticelli, Making Wishes Come True, and see my video to help you with your birthday wishes if it's going to be your birthday. And very, very happy birthday to you. May all your highest expression come through your wishing, and that manifests for you in wonderful ways. Now, something that's two important things to note about this. One is that even if you're not a Virgo sun, you still can get a nice open portal for setting intentions, because when the sun crosses over whatever your Virgo placement is, this will still amplify your intentions, amplify the things that you're working on. Okay, so you still get some really good energy at this time when the sun crosses over whatever your point is. The other very important thing to know, another top thing to know here, is that before your birthday, the sun, and in this case you have other planets also, crowd your 12th house. And when that happens, it can make you think more than usual, make your mind more rumpy-bumpy than usual, and your analysis paralysis and, kind of addictions, your addiction to worrying, your anxiety can sometimes flare in the weeks before your birthday or the time the sun crosses over your Virgo placement. So if you notice that, then my suggestion, hopefully, is for you to not try to self-medicate with recreational types of things, because that just kind of covers up the opportunity that the universe is giving you to get to the root cause of what the issue is. So you might need to get some help from a qualified practitioner, someone that does, therapies, counseling, meditation training. If you're a Virgo that doesn't meditate, it would be a very good idea for you to start meditating, because it's actually a physiological addiction to worry. The same cascade of addiction that floods your body with other types of addictions floods your body, and you can feel it. You can feel like your vagus nerve go poof, and all of this energy flows out when you get anxious, and then sometimes you'll feel a flush of warmth, and there's all of this stuff that goes on in your body that's actually an addictive cascade when you either create things to worry about or fixate on things to worry about. So this could be a time where you can create systems that help you to have more peace and trust that there's a universal plan, and to trust in your intuition and not focus as much on logic. Not to say that we don't need to also use logic, but sometimes the Virgo energies can, really, really analyze and just kind of to stay focused in the objective thing that we see, not necessarily the faith that we feel or the things that we know on a deeper level. So you have opportunities at this time to go deeper into that type of work, and it would be very advisable. Now, as Mars is going, let's just stay with Virgo for a second. So all these Virgo planets, after they're done with your 12th house, are moving into your first house. So this is giving you a chance for rebirth, for regeneration, for a redo of your style. But remember, because we've got short-term energy here, you want to try to avoid doing anything permanent that's not easily fixable. So like, a little haircut, maybe not cutting off all your hair if you think you might regret it, a henna tattoo, maybe not, a real one, just like kind of experimenting with different ways of being or looking, or, ways that you want to present yourself, whether that's like physically how you look or whether that's what you do or what you call yourself. There's a lot of beautiful energy for redefinition of that. So you're definitely going through a redefinition cycle that's strong and going to be long term, but you've got a little extra burst of it here. Okay, so as Mars is going retrograde, it's retrograde in Gemini. This is a little bit of a pressure point for Virgo. So the entire time from September into March is going to be putting pressure on you. Okay, and a lot of this is going to center around work and career, father figures, unhealed things with father figures or male sorts of energies within yourself or around you, and your purpose. So you're going to be asking yourself a lot of questions, over this time. What am I doing? Am I supposed to be doing this? You might be in a process of getting educated to launch a different career, and maybe that's a little bit of work for you at this time. So pressure points don't have to be bad things. They can be matrix cracking, I like to call them, because, it's the pressure that's applied to create acceleration and change. So you are having that happen, but there is some pressure in that sector of your work employment, what you're doing with your life. And this can be coming up even if you're retired. You could be asking yourself, oh, I'm bored. I'm not sharing my gifts. I don't feel purpose-driven. Purpose-driven questions, whether they're related to vocation or earning money, are still the same type of energy, and that could be coming up. And a lot of people have things that they do with their lives that aren't how they make money. They have their day job, then they have their passion project, so all of these types of questions are going to be coming up very strongly, and it looks like you're going to be working kind of hard to redirect some of your work or career or purpose energies, and you might have a little bit of a learning curve to prepare you to do something new. So that could be very exciting. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is the full moon in Pisces on September 10th. Because that's in a water sign, and that is also opposing your sign. So let's just drill into this a little bit. On September 10th and the days around it, we tend to feel full moons the days before, the days after, fullness, completion, fruition, sometimes drama, sometimes manifestation. That could be highly emotional because this is in a water sign, also bringing water where it shouldn't be, whether that's figuratively or literally, pipes bursting, storms, emotional torrents, and that kind of thing. So look out for that. And this is going to highlight your house of relationships. Okay, so there could be some drama, fulfillment for better or worse in your relationship space during that time. Something noteworthy could happen, and it could be highly emotional for better or worse. It could have to do with a client, it could have to do with a spouse, it could have to do with, just anything. It just looks like something is coming up there. So just kind of try to schedule yourself light for that time too. I know I already said try to schedule yourself light for the whole month, but I always try to schedule myself light if possible around full moons, because as things come up, whether it's my own emotions or people around me that need tending to, it's not easy to be super scheduled around that time when you know that these things are going to come up, as they will. And they're more likely to come up if you're close to 17 degrees. Okay, so we'll say 12 degrees through 22 degrees, the closer to 17, the more you're going to get that emotional impact for better or worse. And that's going to relate to like September 2nd through September 12th or something, or, in the times around that, and the closer to around September 7th, the more you will notice that impact. So another power-packed month here. I hope that you experience it with ease and grace. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video. Click on that and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs, and you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got, me and my team have lots of amazing astrology-inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, you can go to lumlife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.